the OMG Hour.
Welcome, everybody, to episode number 290 of the OMG Hour. We are recording this live on April 2nd, 2018, 4 or 5 days after we were supposed to, but whatever. I, of course, am your host, Sean Evans, otherwise known as Zion Tane.
And I'm Jeff. Good evening, everybody.
Hello, Jeff.
Welcome to the Monday night show. I'm going to try and fix this camera.
The as usual Monday night show.
Worse.
Monday Night Football?
Tico.
Is this the Monday Night
Yes.
Football show?
Yeah, we're going
of course.
for the NBC records. Tico, Mr. Second Place, also here.
Of course.
Hello, gentlemen.
As soon as I start recording, my cat needs to come in. Hold on
Yeah.
one
Of course,
second.
of course.
Cats.
So,
Cats.
cats. I have
Talk
cats.
amongst yourselves.
Yeah, right. I had 3 cats, but no, I have 2 now. We're just going to talk about cats for this episode. This is the episode with cats, and all we're going to do is talk about cats, right, Jeff?
Can we kick our cat? Can we set him on fire? Go find
No.
one of the children. Go.
Actually, I have a cat in Far Cry 5. He's a good companion. The cougar.
There's
I
a
think it's
cat
a-
companion in Far Cry 5?
I don't think
Yeah.
it's a cougar. I think it's
Peaches.
I think it's a mountain lion.
I believe it
I
is a
think
cougar.
Cougars is a
It is a
believe
cougar.
mountain lion.
I believe you're
mountain
wrong.
lion.
Anyway, gentlemen, it is episode number 290. We are only 10 episodes away from 300. That's pretty exciting.
Unbelievable.
Wow. 306 years going strong. We're going to go for a record. I believe we're going to go try to get to 2,600. Isn't that what we said?
2,600 episodes. Yeah.
2600,
Yeah.
yes.
We're
We're
going
going
to
to
get
be
to...
95.
That's right.
And a holiday
Doing your
special.
gaming
And a
podcast,
holiday
trying
special.
That's right.
Trying to appeal to whatever the heck the millennials' grandchildren are called.
Yeah. 6 seasons and a movie. So this week we've actually got a lot of co-op games to talk about. We actually, all 3 of us, have played together this week, and I think that's a record.
With Sid.
Well, yes, with Sid, but I'm saying,
With Sid.
we usually don't get together and play games, but this week, every game we played was multiplayer, and one game actually made us play together, like you had to or you can't play it at all. You know, we're talking, of course, about A Way Out. Gentlemen, which one do you want to start with first? Your choice. Jeff, start us off. Which one are we going to go with first?
Oh, actually, I'm super curious to hear about A Way Out, which is the one that I didn't play with you guys.
Oh, you want to hear that one first?
We invited you, but
Well,
It-
we didn't
no.
invite- no, we didn't.
No,
we
we
did,
No
didn't
one
have-
invite. No.
it's only a 2-player. All right, Tico, let's talk about A Way Out. So we've been playing
All right.
A Way Out on Xbox One. And so I have a review copy of it. I invited you to play it, allowed you to play it without purchasing it.
Yes, so there is a trial available, so you can download and play the trial. And I noticed when I actually logged in to play, because I was going to do the same thing, I just wanted to try it out, so I downloaded that off of EA Access with the trial. And it actually says when you go to start your game is this can only be used with somebody with a full retail copy of the game. So the trial is there
Right.
for anybody. So if you do want to play it with your friend, only one person has to have a retail copy of it. Now,
That's pretty cool.
yeah. Now I don't, as a trial owner, I don't get any achievements. So for playing and playing through the game, I would get no achievements. Sean has the retail copy, so he would get any achievements, which I don't think we've unlocked any anyways.
Well, we apparently did, but it didn't pop. So I don't know. We found like this secret area in the game where you're supposed to get an achievement for looking out over the scene type thing, right? But it didn't pop, so I don't know what's going on. But let's talk about A Way Out. First of all, Sid, Bolton, and I tried to play, and we could not get connected at all. It just sat connecting. We exited the game. We rebooted our Xboxes. We tried for about an hour. We tried to get connected, the 2 of us. My inviting him inviting me, and nothing would work. Tico and I didn't have any issues with it. So I don't know if it's a connection between...
right in.
I don't know if it was a connection between me and Sid or what, but Sid and I jumped into Sea of Thieves that same night just to see if it was a connectivity issue, and we had no problems there. So, not sure what
it may have
happened.
been a day one thing.
Well, this was like several days after it released, so I have no idea.
So it may have been a day 4. It may have been a day 4 thing. I don't know.
Okay.
Okay, so what is this game? We didn't even describe what it was. What is A Way Out?
All right. Have you seen any prison movies or TV shows ever in your life?
Yes.
You've played this game.
Then you've seen this
Okay.
game. This game is
Every single trope from
Yes.
Prison Break,
Oh my gosh.
Escape from Alcatraz, like everything you can think of has every single prison trope that you can think of is in this game.
You
Okay,
have no
so it's a
idea.
co-op Prison Break game.
It is literally,
Yeah.
yes, well, that is exactly what it is. It is a co-op Prison Break game. You have to work together. Now, there's some really neat mechanics working together in it, but a lot of the times
Yeah.
it's not much of a game. How did I describe it the other day, Tico? I think I said it was more like an action-oriented walking simulator.
It
Right?
is, yeah. It's like a Telltale game. It's really just a lot of prompts that you're trying to do at the right time. It's
Yeah.
more of a Telltale game.
You can't fail.
With worse storytelling.
Oh, and the acting's not good either. But
The
yeah,
acting is pretty bad.
every trope you can think of, like, we guessed what was going to happen multiple times, and we were right. It was that
Yeah.
predictable, you know?
And we didn't even guess what was going to happen. We just named the movie that they were going to steal the next scene from.
I mean,
That's what it was.
there's some legitimately fun sequences, you know, working together to climb this shaft where they're back to back, feet on the walls, arms linked, and we had to, using a pendulum, we had to time our feet to walk up this thing together, and if one of us went too fast or too slow, we'd fall, and of course you'd have to try again. But there's no failing this game. If you fail a particular thing, it basically puts you back like 10 seconds ago, and you just do it
Yeah,
again.
it's very checkpoint friendly. Very checkpoint friendly.
But at first, I think for the first, I'd say hour, Chico and I are like, this is really boring. I don't care about any of these characters. Where is this going? I almost felt like I had had enough, but then it actually started moving. You know, and I think once they actually got to the actual prison break part of it, it was legitimately fun. And
We
yes,
should explain the part of the video that's up there for anybody who happens to be watching.
Yeah.
We got bored.
So in the video, we're basically splashing water on each other because you can do that, you know.
For 5 minutes straight.
Exactly. So ultimately, though, I think I had a good time. I do want to see it out. We played for about 3 hours, and from what I've been reading or seeing about it, it's about 6 hours. So we're about halfway through, I would say.
Yeah. It's not bad at the price point too. It's $39.99 Canadian, $35 with the EA access, so the 10% off. Not a bad price point, and the fact that only one of you does have to purchase the game. You're talking $20 a person if you want to play through a good 4 or 5 hours. It's not terrible. It does pick up after you escape from prison. Spoiler, it does pick up a bit.
Yeah, spoiler alert. It's a prison escape film. But yeah, it is. I found it predictable. I found it. It was interesting, but I would say there's not much of a game per se. You're literally just. It's very linear, and it's very just click the button when it tells you to. And that is it.
It looked like there was some Splinter Cell stuff going on where you're sneaking up on a guy and then taking him down.
Yes, but it's not difficult.
Is that very scripted?
Okay. There's one area where there's a bunch of guys around, like you're out after you escape, but it's not like it's hard. It's not like it's easy to get caught. It is.
Yeah.
So it's set up in such a way that you just walk around and just take them out.
It is by far the worst prison ever. Like you're trying to.
Oh my gosh!
Again, slight spoiler here. You're trying to steal. I think it's a chisel out of the machine shop.
Yeah.
And in order to get out of the machine shop, you have to go through a metal detector. Well, or you could walk like 3 feet to the left and hand it through the bars to the other person.
Right.
And it's passed. I think that's basically what you did. You're handing this one thing back and forth between the bars from areas that are supposed to be secure areas. It's the worst run prison ever.
Oh yeah, and the guards aren't paying attention. All this is happening. Yeah. Guards are standing everywhere. Yeah, it's anyway.
Okay, so fun but not mind-blowing?
No, definitely not mind-blowing.
No.
Okay.
Also, I'm playing it on the original Xbox One, so I don't know if Tico, if it looks better for you, but for me, it actually didn't look like super. Like it was okay.
No,
it was good, but not
I'm
great.
watching your video here, and it looks about the same. I mean, maybe a little brighter and stuff. It's not looking fantastic. I mean, the part where you're walking through the rain and your guys are all soaked and stuff like that. It didn't look. It looks very plastic.
Yeah, I found the graphics
on the 1X.
not. I don't know. I don't think they're as modern as they could be in a game like like Horizon or all the great looking games these days. It's not on par with that. But it's
a smaller team though.
It's a smaller team. It's
game.
A value title. But again,
yeah.
I think ultimately there's not much game here. It's more about the experience of going through this Prison Break film. So
well, this is the team that did Brothers as well.
Yes, which was a very co-op.
Very. Very similar co-op game. Although I cared more about those brothers.
Yeah, right. Yeah, these characters aren't. I don't find them likable. We really don't know anything about them. So how am I supposed to care about them? We meet them when they're in prison. We don't know anything about them, why they're there, what they did, who they are. And it just throws you in, and you walk around. You're doing chin-ups. The first thing I did was chin-ups in the.
Yeah.
Yeah,
same thing. I did lifts as well, and got to 18. Realized after the fact that 20 would have gotten us an achievement.
Right.
But what are you gonna do?
Cool.
Yeah, it's if you have a friend you want to play it with and you want to split it, it's definitely worth paying $20 each to play it. It's a good experience.
Yeah.
But don't expect much actual game out of it. It's just follow the story. Press the buttons when you're told to, and there's a couple of interesting puzzles, but they're not super hard to figure out.
Yeah. No replayability, I don't think, either. I don't think that anything's going to change going back through this.
No, there's no decisions here. That's the thing.
No.
I think we came across one decision, which, do you want to go across the top of the bridge, or do you want to go under the bridge? So it's like, okay, so we got to choose which direction we went.
So, like in other walking simulators that are sort of more story-driven, they're very open-ended. But I get the sense that this is more linear. Would that be
super
true?
linear. Super linear.
Yeah, okay.
They are telling a single story here. Right? You are just following along. You are a character in that story, and you are literally told what to do. Go do this. Then do this. Now do this. And that's it. You have no choice in the matter. So...
All right.
Yeah, that's a way out. So, other multiplayer games, we've all played Sea of Thieves. Let's talk about Sea of Thieves. That is a big title out there right now. We've all played it. We actually got the entire OMG Hour crew, so the three of us plus Sid Bolton. All four of us were in playing it for a good 2 hours.
Yeah.
You guys...
And I think we've also played it a little bit individually.
We have, yes.
Yeah. I've played it by myself for a little while before I played it with you guys. I know, and you mentioned you played it with Sid earlier, Sean. And Tico, I think you mentioned that you had played it for a little bit, too.
Yeah, a little bit.
Now, you guys had figured out more about it than Sid and I did when we were just in tooling around. To be honest, we were literally just tooling around. We took a boat to an island, we walked around the island, checked things out, we're just having fun. And then a bunch of guys came along, and when you're in-game chat, like not using a party chat, but when you're using the in-game chat, when you come across other players, you hear them speaking too the closer you get to them. So it's like actually being there. Right, so you can hear the other players talking if they're on your boat and you walk up and they're there. But we saw guys on our boat, and they basically came in, shot us both, sank our boat, and ran away. And I'm like, great, that's exactly the kind of game I want to play right there. So then we
everything
spawned,
I hated about the Division.
And then we spawned another boat, and the same thing happened. These guys came on a boat.
Which is funny, because when the four of us played, we met no one.
No one.
I have not, in all of the playing that I've done, I have not seen a single other person in the game.
No, me neither.
See, well, there are very few people. I think those guys were literally following us. I think it might have been the only two guys in the game, other than us, and their whole purpose in life was to sink our boat and kill us. In fact, when you die, you go to this underworld, and you have to wait to respawn. And as I'm respawning, I'm hearing the guys saying, "Oh, look, he's respawning, he's respawning." I'm like, "Oh, great, I'm going to be dead." Sure enough, as soon as I spawned, he killed me.
Yeah. So, we played Sea of Thieves, and this game, I mean, we'd be remiss if we didn't mention that there's a lot of controversy surrounding this game. I think a lot of that controversy is really well deserved. I have a lot of things to say, but I will say that when the four of us were playing, I was having a really good time.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
It was actually really enjoyable, the four of us together.
It was legitimately fun to play this game with 3 other mates, and you're going around and you're accomplishing missions, and everybody's got a job to do. You know, Sean was steering the ship
because I was captain.
Because he was freaking. You're not anyway. I was manning all the sails and getting the angles right. Sid was on navigation, and Tico was on lookout or twiddling his thumbs. I have no idea what Tico was doing.
I was loading the cannons.
I think
he was loading the cannons.
Yeah, sure.
And dropping the anchor.
getting drunk and
oh my gosh,
throwing up in a bucket.
Drunk. I forgot to film that part. That was hilarious.
But you know, the thing about this game I find is that while for the 2 hours that we played, I legitimately had a great time, and it's one of the best co-op experiences I could say I've ever had. This is not a game that I want to go back to night after night after night.
No, it's not.
Because you're gonna run out of interesting content, you know?
Well, we did a
mission where, you know, we only did 2 types of missions. There's only one more for us to do, and they're all kind of the same thing. Go, do something, get a thing, bring it back to a port, and sell it. And then, you know, and we were getting, you know, not much, less than 100 coins of whatever. And then you're looking at things in the shop, and there's some of these things are like hundreds and hundreds of thousands of coins. Just like, how long would we have to play in order to buy one of these things? And like, I just couldn't imagine doing the same thing over and over again. Oh, I'm sorry, there's also raids. The little green glowing skull that you're seeing in the video if you're watching on YouTube, that's some sort of player-driven raid that if we went there, we could join up with other players and do some sort of
skeletons.
Yeah, fight some skeletons, exactly. But you know, it's really huge juxtaposition of like, yeah, you guys made a fun game, Rare, like, well done, but it's only going to be fun for like, you know, I'd go play it with you guys maybe like 2 times more, and then I'd be done.
Well, yeah, exactly. I mean, agreed. It is a legitimately fun experience, you know, because I think really it's because it's like just you're having a party, the four of us, right? There's nothing to do by yourself. It would be extremely boring by yourself. With 3 other guys, absolutely. You know, this was a fun experience for 2 hours. I will say that I think after that 2 hours, all of us were like, yeah, I think I've had enough. You know, that's good.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's about, I think, the most you could really... Because, again, we did the same... Like, we did 2 of the 3 types of missions. We did them 2 or 3 times, and it's go out, pick up your thing, come back. I think the problem is it's progression, like a level with the vendor that you're doing, but you're not really advancing a story. There's nothing...
No, there's nothing... And even the stuff you can buy is just cosmetic. Like, so there's no leveling your character. You level the people, or I guess the relationships with each of the guilds that give you the missions. And my understanding is once you level all those 3 guilds up to level 50, something changes in the game.
You become a legend.
You become a pirate legend, but it also opens up more stuff in the game. I just don't know what that more stuff is. But at the same time, I'm like, do I really want to spend the time leveling all 3 guilds to 50? That's a long time. That's a lot of hours.
One person has done it so far.
Yeah.
One person has done it so far, and there's controversy as to how he got there already.
Oh, really?
Because he would just keep joining. He would keep getting invited into games where people had a bunch of loot to trade in. So he'd join their game, they'd trade in their loot, and then he'd leave their game and join another game. So he'd get credit for everybody's loot that they're turning in without actually doing the experience.
He never actually did it. Oh, so that's kind of cheating. So he cheated. Now, Jeff, I think you said it.
He loopholed.
I think you said it really well the other day, Jeff. It was a legitimately fun experience, but very little game.
Yeah.
You know.
It's I thought of another really good saying. If you guys recall, while we were playing, I stepped out into the ocean, and it was about 10 feet deep. And that's kind of this game in a nutshell. It's a huge game with no depth.
No depth. Yeah, that's true. It's true. Now, Microsoft has been touting that this is now the fastest-selling first-party new IP of this generation for Xbox. They've sold over 2 million copies. Now, I don't know if that's sold, as in people bought that many copies, or people downloaded it through Game Pass.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
It's got to be Game Pass.
It's now the best-selling Microsoft Studio first-party title on Windows 10 as well. But just before the show started tonight, I went to Metacritic. It has a Metacritic of 69 on Xbox and 68 on PC. It's not getting good reviews.
No, and even that sales figure. I mean, 2 million copies is good. Don't get me wrong. I mean, that's not great. It's not like it's Halo freaking numbers. But the fastest selling new IP, and I actually took pause for a moment and it was like, wait, what are the other
new IPs?
New IP on Xbox One,
this generation,
like the whole generation. Like I can't even think of any.
No,
I'm sure there's got to be one. Oh, there's a few.
First
but they
party.
were like really obscure.
First party though.
Yeah, first party. Yeah. Oh, maybe not. Like, what was Recore published by Microsoft?
Oh, yes, it was.
Yes.
Yes, but it didn't. I don't think it did well either.
No,
it was reviewed well, but I don't believe it sold well.
No.
Yeah, and so like this had a huge marketing push behind it, right? Like,
oh my gosh, that's what gets me about this too. Go ahead.
Well, it had a huge marketing push behind it. So when you spend a lot of money on marketing, you're going to get a lot of sales. So I applaud them for like selling a lot of units, but this is going to be, No Man's Sky sold a lot of units too, and it didn't do well, and it's not going to do well. This still has potential. They have said that they're going to add a bunch of stuff to it, but holy cow, the amount of stuff that they're going to have to add to make it actually interesting to play is mind-blowing. Like, there's not a lot of content here. And if I can just take an aside to say that also the thing I wanted to add is you guys were all playing on your Xboxes, but I was playing on PC.
Yes.
And it worked flawlessly. And I thought that was really, really cool.
Yeah, you'd never have known we were on different platforms. And, I mean, I'm on an Xbox One original. Tico's on an Xbox One X. Jeff, you're on PC, and I don't know if Sid is using an X or an S or what. But essentially, all three of us, or I'd say all four of us, were on actually different console generations as well as platforms. Right?
And you were the only one who got booted.
Yeah, I got booted twice, actually. But, I was able to join your game again. I don't know why I got booted twice.
Yeah.
But, yeah, legitimately fun. I would never play it by myself. It's just too boring to play by myself. I think it is fun.
I did play by myself. It's interesting, but it's now that I've played with more people, holy cow, is it ever better with more people? Like,
yeah. Now you're talking about the marketing, and that's the thing that gets me about this game is, they put out so much marketing into this. They had the special controllers, they had the special Xbox, they had I think, controller charger accessory, all Sea of Thieves themed. Like, they went overboard with this game. So, you think...
nice pun.
Oh, you know what? I didn't even realize I said... Yeah, okay. Pun intended.
Sure.
Yeah. Anyway...
He's got a notepad full of them next to him there that he's playing, and it's like, let's go with this one now.
No. But the amount of money they put into this, it made me believe this was going to be the greatest game of the year, And then you jump in, and I want to say off the bat, this game doesn't tell you anything, right? We had to figure out everything on our own. Like, the game tells you nothing. Know that
this is the thing, right? Games do this, and there's been a few games that I've played in the last couple of years that have really forced you. Minecraft was kind of like the first big one of recent, quote unquote, recent memory. But the last really big game that I played that was so useless in telling you how to do anything was Elite Dangerous. And I've said it before that the best way to learn how to play Elite Dangerous is to start the game, crash your ship, quit the game, and go sit on YouTube for 2 hours. It was the same thing with this. More so, I have never spent more time on YouTube than I have on any other game, including Elite Dangerous, because the game is it's obscure in a way that is so strange. Like, you pick up quests by getting cards from vendors. Okay, that's fine. I figured that one out on my own. And then you have a quest screen where you can see the cards, but you can't activate them. You're like, what do I do? And you have no idea. And you have to find a little hidden table on your ship, which has no special markings of any kind whatsoever. Take your card, put it down on the table, and then activate it by voting for it.
Yeah.
And okay, I understand now that we've played the game 4-player why it works that way. But oh my goodness, that is so obscure. I never would have figured that out on my own if it wasn't for YouTube.
And even in single player, you have to essentially vote for a quest.
Yeah.
Right?
You do. And it gets even worse. Like, okay, I have a chest to go dig up, or a quest to go dig up a chest. Perfect. Okay, so I figure out the totally obscure table mechanic, and then I figure out, okay, there's navigation table, find the island. Okay, I've got all that done. I go to the island, I dig up the chest, and then you've got a chest. And what the heck do you do with it? You got I'm hitting it with a shovel. How do I open this chest? How do I get stuff out of it? My treasure's in here. It's a treasure chest. This is what pirates are all about, digging up buried treasure. No. You have to take the chest back to your ship, put it on your ship, go back to a port, and then sell it to the vendor you got the quest from. And that all makes sense when you understand how the game works.
Once you've done it, it's like, okay, that absolutely makes sense. But without knowing that, it's infuriating.
It goes completely against what you would expect from a pirate game.
Oh, for sure.
I would expect to go dig up treasure, open it up, get the treasure. But no, they want you to bring it back. It builds a lot of tension when you've got all this treasure on your ship, and you have to avoid other players. Not that we ever saw any in our game. And you've got to get it back and sell it, and that adds a really cool sense of dread and anxiety, but the good kind, right? Of ooh, we got to get it back. But totally obscure mechanic. Never would have expected that in a million years.
Now, with Microsoft touting 2 million players, how is it that we rarely see anyone?
Yeah, that I don't know. Because you would have figured you would see them on ports. There's only they don't call them ports, they call them something else. But there's only so many of those. There's only 3 or 4, I think, and never see another player. I think I may have seen another ship once on our voyage, as we were passing by. I do recall I saw the mast of a ship.
Right, you did call that out, but none of us
really
saw
far
it.
Away.
None of us saw it.
But I'm on PC, so I have further draw distance. PC Master Race, Mother Hubbard.
Oh, wow.
So, it could have just been a shipwreck or something like that, but it did definitely. It had sails and everything. But even then, you don't see any of the players. I would have expected a game with 2 million people playing, that as you're getting closer to the ports, you're seeing a lot of players.
Yeah.
But with all that said, I am so not interested in running into a bunch of 16-year-olds that play this game for 300 hours a day.
Just to kill you.
That are just to kill me and steal all my treasure after all the monotony of doing all that stuff. I like the concept of having to bring the treasure back, but I would prefer to do that in a more controlled AI environment where at least I have a chance.
I'd also like to do it, mind you, gentlemen, I'd like to also bring the chest back to a ship that's closer to the island. But you know what? I'm just saying.
Listen. I think we tried that, Sean, and you crashed the ship and almost sunk it.
No such thing, my friend.
I'm pretty sure you did exactly that. I'm pretty sure what happened was we parked the ship way too far away. Admittedly, we parked it way too far away. The first 4 times or something. Right. And then the next time you were I'm going to park this ship close, and then you crashed us into the island.
No, I didn't. I got us close, and then Tico didn't drop the anchor until it was too late.
Because the first time I dropped the anchor, you yelled at me saying we're too far away. Why'd you drop the anchor? So I wait.
I would
Larry,
say that is the
Larry,
hardest thing of this game is anchoring the damn ship.
So Larry Asbury is watching us right now, and he wants to know, and Tico, you'll be the best to answer this. Does Game Pass make Sea of Thieves worth getting?
Game Pass, Sea of Thieves alone, I would say no. The fact that you do get the other games, the 100 some odd games, and the fact that the State of Decay, Crackdown 3 are coming with that as well. If you are looking at interest in this game, by all means, spend the $15 and try it out for a month. You'll get more than enough gameplay out of that for in the 1 month, and then cancel. But do not pay $80 for this game.
Get your friends.
Oh, I would never pay.
Yeah, get your friends involved.
Never.
Is this a full price game?
Not pay.
This is an $80
after tax.
Oh my god! Do not pay $80 for this game.
I would honestly, like, even if this thing popped up at $15, I would say that you're overpaying at $15. I mean, if you're getting all the other stuff with Game Pass and you can cancel that, then maybe. But this should be a free to play game.
Yeah, no, this does not deserve being $80. Yes, Larry, if you have Game Pass,
It's fun.
then yes.
Get your friends together and play it, but don't pay $80 for it. So
Now, you know what this does have me excited about is Skull and Bones.
oh my gosh, right? Just the whole boating experience. I am really excited for Ubisoft Skull and Bones because that, I love the seafaring parts of the last several Assassin's Creeds, and I cannot wait for a game that's just that because, legitimately piloting the boat or sailing the boats in this is fun. To do that in a game that actually has meaning and purpose, I'm excited for.
And that's what I think Skull and Bones is going to be.
As a segue, I did actually play the remastered Assassin's Creed Rogue.
Oh, you're going to go there, are you?
Yeah, well, why not? It's a pirate thing. It's a nice segue.
Yes, but then it gets us out of our multiplayer talk. So, whatever.
I know, but we can go back. Well, you started the video. You didn't cut me off, so now we're talking about it. No, it looks fantastic, and it's just, after playing Sea of Thieves, I really wanted to play like a good pirate game. So this was great. This was great because there's the story. Like, I fired through the entire story. Like I think I was telling you, like I finished this game without even realizing I was at the last mission.
Yeah. Well, I loved playing Rogue. I played Rogue on Xbox 360. I thought it was a great game. This is the one where you actually start as an assassin and end up becoming a Templar. Because your brotherhood does something you don't agree with, and you end up going against them. So it was an interesting take on Assassin's Creed.
Yeah, and great ship combat in this.
Oh my
again,
gosh.
can't wait for Skull and Bones. We'll throw together a nice little crew. The three of us plus Sid, and then get our butts kicked by those 16-year-olds in yet another game.
Right, exactly.
All right. So, finishing out the co-op talk, Far Cry 5 came out last week, and Jeff and I have been playing it for a while.
Yes,
Tico, you've also been playing it. But Jeff, you and I jumped into co-op because we've always said Far Cry has the best co-op experience in games like this.
Yep.
They didn't fix what they got wrong in Far Cry 4. And that is the fact that, Jeff, when you joined my game, we could play every mission together, but none of it would count towards your game if you joined mine.
Oh, boo.
So you can keep anything you collect. The idea here is basically anything you collect, you keep. Progress does not keep across games. I don't get that. It's not that they can't do it, because they already did it with Wildlands. Right? We can play Wildlands the entire game together, and whatever we do together unlocks on our mutual maps.
And we could even start quests. Like if you had finished a quest that I hadn't, I could start it, and then we could just play it again.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that's the way it also works in games like Borderlands. It was really disappointing. We kind of knew this was coming. It's very, very unfortunate that they didn't fix that. So that is definitely a mark against it. But there is a lot of good things in this game.
Yes.
So let's...
Yeah, for sure.
I want to start by saying, holy cow, is it ever pretty.
Oh my gosh,
It's a beautiful game. Yeah.
Damn, this game is good looking.
Yeah, it really, really is. It plays well. It handles well. I mean, there's some. I am having a great time with this. Bleh, I've lost my words. I'm having a great time with Far Cry 5. I've played more Far Cry 5 than I have any of the previous Far Cries. That's how much better I think this is overall. Okay. You know, I think the structure of this feels better than the previous, because the previous were just trying to throw you in the world and you're like, just go do what you want. This one actually gives you some structure, very similar to Assassin's Creed Origins, very similar to even Wildlands. You know, it breaks the area up into quadrants or areas, like regions. Thank you. Like Wildlands did, right? And within each region, you have a certain set of objectives you need to get in order to finish that region and take down the head of that region. Right. So
yeah, I will say it's the first Far Cry game I've played in a long time that mixed up the formula a little bit. Far Cry 3 and Far Cry 4, the mechanics were almost carbon copies. Like go get a tower, clear out the shroud, go to the outpost, clear the outposts, you know, and it was very it was very like there was very like we used to call it like the Ubisoft formula for making games. And this game really early on makes a joke about that, as it has to climb a tower pretty early on.
Yeah.
And then you guys go there and you're climbing this tower, you're like, oh my, here it is, we're gonna do this tower thing again. And the guy's like, don't worry, mate, I'm not gonna have you do all them towers all the time. And you're like, oh, okay, well that's good.
Yeah.
And
one
then you
tower.
Only get to the top of the tower, hit a button, and zipline down, just like you have in a million other Far Cry games. But
but only once. Only
once. But there's a lot of new things in this game. As a Far Cry fan, like some people have said that it's still very formulaic. I don't. And yes, in the sense that you've got a huge open landscape and you've got to clear out outposts and stuff. But there's a lot of new subtle differences. One, there seems to be a lot more bad guys around.
Almost too much when you first start the game.
Yeah, it's much harder to get around early on in the game. Surprisingly, they kept a fantastical element to the game. There is definitely some things like they've got zombie equivalents and they've got
the Bliss,
ghost ladies,
the angels.
You know, that they all sort of try and make sense. But I like the changes that they've made and the helpers that you can hire to help
those are
follow
great.
you around. You know, it's
the companions.
There's enough differences. Yeah, there's enough differences in this game that I think that really make it stand out from the rest of the Far Cry games.
I would agree that now. I totally agree. There have been a couple of times in this game that I really wanted to throw the controller out the window and rage quit.
Yes.
And mostly that comes from, you all know, Jeff, you and I both play games like this very much in stealth mode. You know, my weapons are a long-range sniper and a bow and arrow. And I don't know why I never noticed this.
The sniper rifle is silenced.
Yes. And Jeff, I don't know if you knew this, but I only literally just discovered this yesterday, that the sniper rifle I have, I can switch between single shot, multi-shot, and burst. I had no idea.
Sniper rifle?
Well, I'm using it like a sniper rifle, but I can switch it to a semi-automatic.
You have a scoped rifle. You have a scoped assault rifle. That's what you have there. That's not a sniper.
But it's listed under sniper rifles. When I go buy it, it was listed as a sniper, but I can switch it to automatic or burst mode, and I had no idea I could do that. But I have another automatic weapon because I'd rather just switch it in the wheel. It'd be a lot faster than switching the ammo type.
Yeah.
But so going back to what I was saying, my biggest issue with this game is how it allows you to play this game in whatever way you want, except when it comes to the story missions. Then you're forced into these huge set-piece run-and-gun settings that I'm not prepared for because I don't load up for that kind of a setting.
Yep.
Right?
There's a lot of times that I'm like, man, I would love to get rid of all my silenced guns for a shotgun and a rocket launcher right about now.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But
or I've just run out of ammo, and now I have to do this huge story mission with nothing and like about 1 million bad guys coming through the door.
And these story missions, some of them are literally forced upon you. It's not that you go and choose it. So when you're building up the resistance in each of the areas, there are basically what I would call checkpoints. You get to a certain area, you level up that area. When you level up the area, you are then essentially hunted by that area's boss. And if they catch you, you are instantly taken to a story mission.
It's not really if they catch you, because there's nobody physically after you. Just at a certain point, it just yanks you out of whatever you're doing.
In John's area, they come and get you. They shoot you with bliss, and you basically can't fire back at them. So they hunt you.
It was, Jacob's area. I was in a helicopter, and all of a sudden my screen went white.
Oh, yeah. In Jacob's area, they just took me out of nowhere.
Yeah, I was in the helicopter doing a mission, and somehow they got me. They nabbed me from that helicopter.
I was 5 feet away from the end of a mission. All I had to do was talk to the mission giver to complete the mission, and I got taken by Jacob's crew. Right? And forced into the story mission. It's like, what are you doing? Then I had to navigate back.
Interesting mix-up.
It is.
Compared to the old games where you had to trigger all that kind of stuff. But it is slightly frustrating. I will agree. I didn't know what was happening the first time that happened to me.
I thought I died somehow.
I had no idea what was going on. I was like, and the other thing is, these games are big and long, and I don't like being forced into missions when, because you guys know I'm a single dad. I got kids everywhere and stuff like that. Like, if I have to get up and go do something,
I got in trouble the other day because that exact same thing happened. I was watching it, went to a cutscene, and I'm watching a cutscene because I'm actually interested in the story. And the pizza guy got here, and Shannon's like, "Can you go get the pizza?" I'm like, "I can't right now."
Well, to be fair,
then you got divorced, and now you're welcome to Club Single Jeff.
To be fair, you guys, you can pause anywhere and shut the game down.
Oh, that's right. It's an offline game. Can you pause a cutscene?
Yes, you can.
You can't pause a cutscene.
Yes, you can.
You can pull up you can hit the home button and pop up that screen, which I didn't know at the time.
Right. So you can pause the cutscene. You can pause the missions anywhere and just shut the machine down because the machine comes back to where you were. Right. As long as you don't lose power, you're good because the machine goes into standby mode. But my biggest issue was just the rage-inducing missions that I'm forced into a play style.
Oh.
So my problem is with any game that allows you to play in any playstyle you want, but then forces you into a playstyle you don't do. Right? Mm-hmm. Because I've customized my character to play stealth, but then you're forcing me into not stealth, and I'm not prepared for that.
I think it's also worthwhile to mention that it's not just guns that we can talk about in this scenario, right? Because you could just pick up whatever guns the enemy drops after you put an arrow between his eyes, but your perk system too.
Yes.
Perk system, which I actually do not like. You also pick your perks. There's a lot of perks to pick, and I have carry more arrows, which doesn't help me in a big gunfight.
Yeah.
I don't like how the perks work. I do want to say that. I don't like how they're tied to, I don't know what the word is, but like accomplishments or achievements or like kill 50 guys. And
challenges.
Challenges.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't like that. I wish that I didn't have to worry about all these challenges.
You don't. You can also get perk stuff from the magazines in the bunkers and stuff like that as well.
Yeah, but before it was leveling up or getting certain parts in the story, or
I believe the story still gives you perks
more
as well.
traditional XP based.
Yeah.
Yeah, it does unlock stuff, but before in the previous games it was a more traditional unlock system. Whereas now I feel like, yes, I am definitely getting perk points, but I feel like I should be worrying about these challenges more because you get perk points from these challenges, but you also get them from clearing bases, which is also
the challenges do come naturally as well. Like I've had I'm right now running through trying to finish all the challenges. I have to kill 3 bald eagles, and I've completed all of the hunting and fishing.
that's okay for you because you're very methodical
But,
when you game. I'm
I'd
not.
say 80,
I don't like to worry about that
80% of them, 80% of them unlock naturally as
Yeah.
I progress through the
I
game.
agree. I agree with Tico. I am not paying attention to the challenges, but I've unlocked
A ton of them, just naturally by playing
Yeah,
the
yeah.
game. Absolutely. These are not, I don't find the challenges are things you need to pay attention to. These are things that you're just going to do by playing the game. You know, I unlocked the shotgun one because I was forced to use a shotgun in one mission and I happened to get the challenge for it. Right? It's because you know me, I would never pick up a shotgun willingly. Ever. I hate shotguns in any game.
They're also reasonable. It's kill 5 guys with a shotgun. It's not kill 500.
Right. Exactly.
Well, like the numbers are not. It's kill 5 guys with this weapon, kill 10 guys with this. They're not, huge numbers. Like if you hate using the shotgun, kill 5 guys and you're done right away.
The first mission that Jacob spirits you away to, you're forced to use a shotgun. So that's where I got it. Because you grab a shotgun and you kill 5 guys in this dream sequence.
Yeah.
And that's a mission you can't skip anyway, so...
I think overall, though, I'm having an absolute blast with Far Cry 5. It's beautiful. It plays really well. It's the best Far Cry I've ever played. And I think it's based on the structure and just the way the stories and the missions are. What I find about Far Cry, when I try to think about what is it about this that I enjoy more than like Far Cry 4, right? Just thinking back to the previous one. And this one, I feel... it feels more alive. Like there's a lot more people in the world that you're interacting with. You know, I don't feel like I'm just the only person around. Like, I think yes, there was a resistance in Far Cry 4, but when you weren't in the story missions revolving around them, you were just out there on your own. Whereas in this, there are resistance members everywhere, and you're talking to people. And when you talk to people, that kind of gives you hints on other locations in the world where there might be a mission. You know, so this one feels more alive to me than previous Far Cry games.
I think it's worth mentioning that although this is the third Far Cry game to appear on this generation, because Far Cry 3 was an Xbox 360 game, right?
That's correct.
Far Cry 3, yes.
Yeah. So
but Far Cry 4
Primal,
was
and
based
5.
on the same engine. Far Cry 4 was based on the same engine as 3. And then Primal was just a reskinned version of 4.
That's right.
Yeah.
That this is, I think, and this is a guess, but based on how it looks and the number of enemies around and the number of NPCs that are around in these towns and the interactions and how many models they have, like this feels like the first Far Cry game on an actual this gen engine.
I agree. And you know what? I was taking note of character models, Jeff, and thinking about you, because this isn't just like there's a guy model and a girl model. There are guys and girls of all shapes and sizes in this game.
Yeah. It's a really good game. Like when you walk into an NPC area with friendlies, like it actually comes a lot closer to feeling like a little commune.
Yeah.
Or like a little community than any other Far Cry game, which had just cookie cutter soldiers, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, one thing, I have read a few things about this game since it's come out, and there's one thing I really agree with, and that is that Far Cry 5 feels like it doesn't know what it wants to be. Because you've probably both already experienced John Seed's area, where John Seed is very sadistic. Like, very sadistic. Like, just stringing people up, peeling skin off of them. Like, it's, honestly...
Earning the M rating.
Yeah, exactly. But then there's missions where you're following this nutcracker guy who believes there's aliens targeting us, and we have to run around and find this thing to teleport him to Mars. You know, and then there's these just really quirky, funny bits. It's like, well, what do you want to be? Like, what is this world you're throwing me in? You're throwing me into a world that's super serious and sadistic, and then giving me things that are like the Chuck Nixon or whatever his Colt Dixon things, which are just these like daredevil stunts, like and you're giving me a truck that has like this massive truck, the Widowmaker,
which is awesome, by the way. But it's just this huge, indestructible truck that has machine guns mounted on the front of it. It's like...
So, you and I have talked about this before. We talked about it while we were playing this game.
Yeah.
We talked about it at the point where we had to fly those planes around. In the, like...
that was the Colt Dixon stuff, yeah.
Yeah. I've been thinking about this a lot. And I think that what Ubisoft actually wants is it's not, they don't know what they want to be. I think they want to be both. I think that that's how they're trying to break up the monotony. It's not that they don't know, it's they want to be on both ends of the spectrum of just like Grand Theft Auto level sort of hilarity, but then this like really dark, this really dark, gruesome type stuff too. Yeah, because it sort of breaks it up. And like when you're not doing that story stuff, I'll go fly some airplanes. Like we got this big open world. Let's do some fun stuff with it too. So, and when you look at the DLC, like the DLC is just wacky.
Yeah.
Well, it's like it's really akin to their Blood Dragon stuff, right?
Yeah,
like
it is.
The absolutely over the top. I think there's a zombie one, there's a Vietnam one, and a space one for their 3 pieces of DLC that have been announced.
Yeah, and here's the funny thing: the first DLC with the scientist guy who basically builds a teleporter and sends himself to Mars. That ties right into the Mars DLC. In fact, he called the teleporter something like the dispersal limiter contraption or something like that, which is DLC. He says, "Help me get." Basically, he literally says, "Help me get the DLC ready." Yeah. Right? And then he's going to Mars. I'm like, okay, he just called that DLC. He's going to Mars, and there's a Mars DLC. So I'm wondering if there's a funny mission in each of the other regions that will tie to the DLC that's coming. So they're kind of making the DLC part of the game in a way. You know, It was clever. I mean, honestly, it was a clever little thing. So obviously, I think when you play the Mars DLC, you're going to come across this guy who you teleported to Mars in the main game.
Yeah.
So he wasn't so crazy after all now, was he? You non-believers. I want to say one more thing. If you guys have anything else to say, or
I do have one last thing actually that I want to say.
Sure, go ahead.
Which is. I actually stopped playing Far Cry 5 because I read... So you guys know that I built a new gaming PC. We've talked about it on the show for a couple weeks now. And I've been playing a lot of PC stuff. I've talked about this on the show when actually Ghost Recon Wildlands came out, because I was also playing a lot of stuff on PC, and then I went to go play Ghost Recon Wildlands. And the jolt from playing a game at... V-synced 60 frames a second to 30 frames a second on the TV on the PlayStation 4 is really jarring.
Really?
Like, it's really hard to play. It makes it so hard to play because I always feel like I'm lagging because it's not fluid. Yeah, it really ruins me. So what I read is that if you have a PlayStation 4 Pro or an Xbox One X, there is actually a patch coming that's going to let you play at 1080p 60 frames per second.
Sweet.
So I'm kind of waiting for that before I get back into it. It's hilariously enough, I'm actually playing another game quite a bit on my PlayStation for review, not next week, I guess, but the week after. No. Yeah, next week, technically.
Technically,
we're doing
next
last
week.
Week's podcast
today.
But anyway, the next show I'm going to talk about that. But so there's a really cool patch coming for us Pro and X owners to get 60 frames a second, which I'm actually super excited for, because then I'll be able to play it and feel like I'm hitting things that I'm shooting at.
Excellent. I'm not privy to what that looks like. I don't know. I can't tell the difference when it comes to frame rates. So I'd love to experience that. Because I don't know what you're saying. Like, I don't understand what you're experiencing because I don't think I've ever seen that. So I don't know the difference.
Well, if when you come up one day, I will let you play Destiny 2
60 frames
60
per
frames
second.
a second on my 4K monitor. I bought a 4K monitor, by the way, on my 4K monitor.
Jealous.
And then Destiny 2 1080p 30 frames a second controller on both platforms, and you will totally be able to tell the difference
awesome
right away.
So one last thing, because we actually spent the entire show talking about basically 3 games, which is all good. We've never actually done that before. Wow. Okay. One thing I want to say is...
Are we almost at an hour?
Oh,
really?
yeah. Oh, yeah. We're at like 55 minutes, my friends.
Okay.
One thing I've noticed about this game, and this is not a complaint, don't get me wrong, and this just comes from my own personal beliefs. If those who don't know, I know that I'm a Christian, but this game, Far Cry 5, is very... It's about a cult. A very, I'd say... Christian-based cult, I want to say, pseudo inspired.
I would say that it's inspired by the crazy Christian cults of yesteryear.
Absolutely.
That
the thing about this that little bit bothered me, and I don't get offended like the world does these days. These little things, people get offended and ban stuff. But the one thing I noticed that was just kind of tweaked me a little bit was, first of all, the names of the characters are very Christian-based. You've got John.
They are.
You've got Faith. You've got Joseph, who's the main leader. The very, very biblical names, right? And then you've got John, who baptizes people. And he's called, in the game, he's called John the Baptizer, John the Baptist.
Yeah.
Who is a real biblical character, John the Baptist. So in the game, you literally have characters saying, oh, F John the Baptist this, and F John the Baptist. I'm like, oh, that's okay, I get it from a game's point of view, but at the same time, you're literally saying, F John the Baptist.
Yeah.
And I'm like, did you really need to say that?
Couldn't have been Ben the Baptist or something like that. That would have worked better.
Or just Jerry. And just call him Jerry.
Jerry.
Don't refer to him as the
Jerry.
Baptist.
Because I get you got biblical names for the characters because it's a cult. You want to get that religious thing into it, but when you literally take a name right out of the Bible and curse the name, it almost hits a little too close to home. If you know what I mean?
Yeah. No, I can totally see where you're coming from. And this is the type of game that, after you play it for only maybe 10 minutes, you're like, wow, I bet you that they had their PR team just ready to go.
Right?
And just because somebody's going to say something somewhere.
Yeah.
And there's more stuff than that really kind of irked me.
Oh, there's a lot of stuff.
I don't know if anybody knows how the game begins, but you're a U.S. Marshal or something like that.
Yes.
And you are a representative of the law.
Oh,
and
this is a good story.
You go to well, I don't know what story you think I'm going to say, but
the guys on the island. Is this what you're referring to?
No, I'm not referring to the guys on the island.
Very beginning of the game.
Yeah, well, the guys on the but what I want to say is you can tell whatever story because I don't think I'm going to tell the story you want me to tell. But you are a U.S. Marshal, a representative of the law, on U.S. soil in an era of police violence being reported on the news worldwide. And within 15 minutes of starting this game, you can literally take the law into your own hands and murder people just outright.
Yeah.
No Miranda rights, or reading them the rights,
exactly.
Nothing. And it's a little jarring, and I know that that's a very left-wing approach, I guess. I don't know. I understand that it's a video game and blah, 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 and I don't like condemning them or anything like that. It's just that it's just another one of those things, like what you were saying, Sean, about John the Baptist, where it feels just ever so slightly out of touch with the political climate
too close to home.
The day.
Yeah. So I was thinking very similar to what you said the other day. Is you were swimming along and you came to this little island, and there was these guys just around a campfire, just sitting around a campfire, not doing anything, but they were cultists. So you pulled out your gun and you shot them.
You shot them literally for no reason, because they were cultists, because they believed something you didn't agree with. You just shot them dead. All they were doing was camping on this island, and you shot them. And you're like,
I did.
Really? I am a U.S. Marshal, and I walked onto an island into a campsite and shot the campers dead, just like that.
And I probably got a trophy or something for it too. It's just, it's a video game, and I get it. It's just a little weird.
Yeah, like, there's a few things that clearly, indicate, like, there's one of the challenges is skinning 3 bald eagles.
Bald eagles, yep, that's
bald
right.
Bald eagles. So
which are they not endangered species?
They are an endangered species. So you are a U.S. Marshal going around skin, and not only do you have to in order to complete this challenge, you have to kill and skin 3 bald eagles.
Nice.
Right.
So
it's crazy.
I don't know. I get it's game. I hope nobody's gonna get mad at this. Be like, it's just don't take our video games away. Obviously, we're not gonna do that.
No, we're gamers.
It's a little weird.
Yeah, it's some pieces of it, because it's dealing with a cult, a very religious, Christian-based
cult, U.S. soil, police forces.
Yep. Christian, like pseudo-Christian is really what it comes to, right? Because they're talking about, like, there's a lot of, I would say there's a lot of truth in what they are saying, but it's so twisted. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And that's really what a cult is. A cult takes the truth, but twists it for their own purpose. And that's what Joseph has done in this game. And that's the way they are all acting. Yes, they're sadistic, but the things they say to you, the things they say to the cult members, are based in truth, only twisted for their own purposes. And it's just, there's so many things like, it's like little pinpricks in my own faith. You know what I'm saying? So, but yeah, I think for me, the biggest thing that stood out was the fact that they were literally calling him John the Baptist. And the guys the characters are cursing John the Baptist, like literally. And like, okay, that's a little bit too much, I think. Cult, I can handle, no problem. But you're literally cursing the name of a character in the Bible. So how does someone who doesn't understand this differentiate the Bible from this fictional world? I don't want to get into it. Anyway, I'm sorry. That's just where my mind went. That's all. But
it's
ultimately,
it's definitely a theme
for sure.
of the game is pushing people's buttons.
Oh, it is. It is. Yeah.
I'm curious to see if there's going to be any real world repercussions for that decision.
You know what? I'm loving the game. I have not been as addicted to a Far Cry game as I am this one. This game, I got to play this every day. It's, I'm back to where I was when I'm playing like an Assassin's Creed or Wildlands. Every day I had to play the game until I finished. I am loving this. I am finding the more I play, the more it's getting a little bit samey. Like it's just the same thing over and over again.
Yeah,
that's why I stopped playing Far Cry 4. I just felt like I had seen everything that game had to offer.
But it's still
and I was only
more
like
compelling.
halfway through.
Yeah, this is still more compelling.
Do it quickly enough, you don't notice.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
I still find this more compelling than the previous installments. So I'm having a really, really good time with it. And that is pretty much.
Wait. Do we have time? Can we at least do the Xbox Live Games Gold and the PlayStation Plus free games?
Yeah, for sure.
Because by the time we come around the next time, it'll be
next
late,
month.
So.
Let's do it. Okay, so Tico, why don't you tell us what our games with gold are for April?
All right, hang on. I'm going to open it because I don't remember at this point.
Well, you should open it and find out. I am actually really, really excited about one of these games.
Oh, that's why I don't care. I already have all of these games. So I know the first one, the one that you're excited about, is The Witness.
Yes,
Me too.
On
The
Xbox
Witness
One
has been in my wish list for since the day it was launched, and I keep waiting, keep looking. It comes down on sale. I'm like, oh, it's $10. Yeah, but I don't have time to play it now, so I wait. It just sits, and now it's going to be free on Xbox One. That free with Games with Gold. Anyway, so yeah, I'm excited. I finally get to play The Witness.
All right, and that's for the entire month, from the 1st to the 30th. From the 16th to May 15th is Assassin's Creed Syndicate, which is
Is that
London.
a good one or a bad one, Sean?
No, I really enjoyed Syndicate.
This is the one where you get to choose between Jacob and Evie, and Evie is very stealth related, and Jacob is more fisticuffs. So you can play. It gives you your kind of style, how you like to play. You choose which ones.
All right. On the backwards compatibility 360, April 1st to the 15th, another Disney title of Cars 2.
Okay. This is a hidden freaking gem. This game is right up there with Mario Kart. This game is so much fun.
Seriously.
I freaking love Cars 2. I played that with Oliver. And just because he was really big into cars at the time, so I bought the Cars 2 video game. I was blown away at how great of a job. It is essentially a kart racer with the characters from Cars, and it is fantastic.
Good to know.
I will play some of that. And then the 16th to the 30th of April is Dead Space 2.
Excellent.
I think that's a good game, right?
Dead Space.
But I've heard it's good.
Yeah. Dead Space
I'm
was a
pretty
good
sure that's
series.
the one with co-op as well, isn't it? Isn't 2 the co-op one?
I honestly don't know.
One of them's co-op.
Dead Space was a good series.
Yeah.
All right, PlayStation Plus. Jeff, what are we getting in April?
Mad Max. We are getting Mad Max, which I'm very excited about because I've heard great things and I've never played it.
Now I'm regretting buying it for like $10 like a year ago.
Oh, yeah. And then we're also getting Trackmania TM Turbo, or just Trackmania Turbo, I guess.
Looks cool.
I actually own this game. It is pretty good. I wouldn't say it's great, but it is good. Excellent. So you can make your own tracks. You can race around. I think it also has a VR mode. Not sure about that. Don't quote me on it, but... or no, maybe I'm thinking about the Ubisoft one has the VR mode.
And I think you're thinking of the PlayStation, the Wipeout. The Wipeout.
No, I'm definitely not thinking about Wipeout.
Okay, because Wipeout just got their VR mode recently.
I'll have to go look to see if this is the one I own, but if it is, then it's got a VR mode. Anyway, and then also coming to PlayStation 4 is In Space We Brawl. Don't know what that is. 99 Vidas. Don't know what that is. And Qbert Rebooted.
Oh, Qbert's fun.
Qbert's always a good time. So
yeah. So
some good games in April. Holy cow. Some great games. The Witness, Mad Max, Cars 2, whatever.
Not bad.
I'm excited. This is one of the best months we've had in a while.
It is. It is. I mean, if you still subscribe to the online services, then you're getting some fairly good games this month.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, and on that note, of course, we didn't hear from our gaming archaeologist this week, but that's okay. But you can follow him everywhere. It is Sid Bolton. He's on Twitter as @SidBolton. Sid is with a Y. I am Ziantane everywhere, and that is XIANTAYNE. PAX East is this week. Tico and I are heading out in just about 36 hours. And we will be having a lot of good fun there. If there's anything you want us to check out, if you know that's going to be there, give us a shout on Twitter, and we'll endeavor to check it out. We'll have a few shows during the week. We'll upload our days in reviews onto the YouTube channel each day and let you know what we've been seeing.
I'm Jeff. I'm Jeff. You can follow me on Twitter @Cynics, SINNIX. Of course, you can follow the show on Twitter @the OMG Hour. That's always a good place to go. You can watch us on, normally you can watch us on Thursdays at 6 p.m. live on YouTube at bit.ly/the OMG Hour, but not next week, but the week after. We should be back. And then, of course, if you're watching us, you can like, subscribe, and comment, and find all the show notes on omgnexus.com. And, of course, follow the website on Twitter @omgnexus.
And I'm Mr. Second Place.
Yes, you are. Thanks to Larry. Thanks for Chris for jumping in and speaking to us while we recorded. Sorry we didn't answer all your questions. I know you both offline, so we'll chat. That is it for this week. There was something else I was going to say, but it must have been a lie because now I don't remember. So we'll be back next week after PAX with another show. See you later, everybody.
Good day, everybody.
Bye, guys.
This has been an OMGNexus.com production.